Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Hidden Pearls podcast. We are coming to you from Arizona. The family's all here. We're just waiting for George and the 49ers to get here, but we're pretty excited. The weather's
Well, I'm in
pretty
California.
beautiful.
The weather is beautiful. Yeah, or good morning if you're listening in the morning. Good afternoon. Whenever you listen to this. Good day to
Good
you.
day.
All right. Well, welcome.
Person.
All right. We are week 15 of the NFL season, George, as you know only too well. Game 14 for the old Niners. We're at the Cards. And now the plot thickens as it always does in December and January of the NFL season. Cowboys soundly defeated the Eagles to knock them out of the number one seed. And with the Niners' week 14, 28-16 victory over the Seahawks, they now move into the number one seed. But it is only week 15, and there's a lot of ball yet to play, and it ain't over till it's over. Now it's every game matters and still 1 week at a time. So, George, get your mind right. This week, the Niners travel to the desert to take on the always scrappy Arizona Cardinals. Kyler Murray is back and always a threat, and nothing more they would love to do than throw a wrench in the Niners season. Join us as we review the last week's victory and look at the Niners versus Cards matchup and many, many other intriguing and interesting details. Bam.
That was wonderful.
Welcome to the show.
It's just welcome to the Hidden Pearls podcast with Bruce, Emma, and George. What an intro by Father Bruce.
It's like a Lord of the Rings movie intro every single episode.
That's kind of how my life is.
It's a quest.
You kind of sound like that intro sounds like the fastest 2 minutes, like the NFL recap.
Yeah, I mean,
So
Chris
it kinda
Berman.
sounds like, yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's just jump right into some ball.
How are we, sir?
Oh.
How are the holidays? How are you feeling?
Hi guys.
Hey,
Hi, George Kittle here. Brother of Emma Kittle. That's how you might know me. I might have heard of me. She's kind of a big deal. I'm doing great. I'm always great.
You are always great.
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. I'm at home with my wife. You know what? Unfortunately, we could talk about this later too. It is Friday night. It is the night of the 49ers Christmas party, and unfortunately, me and my wife are not there, which is not great. And I really, really enjoyed the 49ers party, but we made the decision to not go this year. And so we're living through that mild guilt because I always love going out there and showing support. And Jed York and the 49ers do such a great job putting that on for the entire team and organization. But we're not there. So it is what it is. And I'm still full of holiday cheer. I got to have a conversation with my family. And we got to talk to you fine people. So happy to be here.
Last week, Niners win 28-16, now 10-3, took over the number one seed, as we have mentioned. That was 5 straight victories over the Seahawks, George, including last year. That's pretty cool. You were the first NFL franchise to win 5 straight games against the Seahawks.
First time ever?
First time ever in the history of their franchise.
Oh, let's go. I didn't know that.
Yeah, there you go. So I guess just a real quick check-in. I know we're going to move on. Our mind is in the desert. But how was that to sweep them again for the second season in a row and kind of put a dagger in the old playoff hopes? Must have felt pretty good.
Did we do that?
Wow.
You know what? The best thing about that is I think about the early times of my career when we played the Seahawks and we lost. But I never lost 5 straight.
No, you didn't.
I didn't.
You did.
So that's a pretty good feeling. What did you ask me? Sorry, I was distracted by that statistic. I'm going to text my my friends that because that is a really good statistic. Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Fun.
Well, I just so having them back, and it is a pretty intense rivalry. Everybody in the NFC West is, but just how was that? I mean, just watching the game, I don't think it was really as close as the score kind of made it seem there for a while, but guys came out and scored right away and all that. But anyway, just reactions to that game, and I guess, and I know the number one seed really doesn't mean anything right now, but it's still better to be there than out of it, so that's still a good thing. So just any reactions to that game, and how was that, getting that done?
Well, you know what, Dad? I'm going to have to disagree with you there because it was closer. It was very close because at one point they had scored a touchdown, went for 2, and it would have been an 18-21 game. That seems pretty close to me, and that was at the end of the third quarter. And then, we came out and scored another touchdown to go up 28-16, and our defense did a great job, some turnovers, and played hook and lateral in the back. After Frey got an interception, which was wild to watch and enjoyable. But Seattle's always a very tough game. They've got players who believe in their system. They have players who believe that they should be winning, more games than they are. And so when you're going against a team that, and also, hey, Pete Carroll wins a lot of football games, has won a lot of football games, won the Super Bowl, like he knows how to coach. And so anytime you go against a team like that, they've always got a chance. And then, they got some pretty talented players on both sides of the football. And, fortunately for us, that we have a lot of really good guys on both sides of the football. And, we were able to go away with that win. We played at a high level. There's some things that we could obviously get better at. But I thought overall, we overcame a couple, sputtering offensive drives, and we're able to go out there and execute and do all the cool, fun things that you see the 49ers do. So we're doing a good job of staying consistent with doing all that fun stuff. Our defense is consistently kicking people's butts, which is really fun to see. And you know what? I think honestly, the play of the game, which it would have been, was Mitch Misowski's fourth down run that unfortunately got called back. But that was a highlight of my entire day.
I could not stop thinking about watching him run when you told us about how he's like, I just hate getting tackled. Like watching it, hearing that story in the back of my mind, I was like, oh man, he's trying so hard to not get tackled.
He kind of,
you're not wrong.
He runs that way. It kind of looks like he's kind of like a little bit sheepish out there. But great job.
He was moving though. They said he hit 20 miles an hour.
He was moving.
Right. Yeah, that was a great play, great call. Would have been so good.
I'll look into that. I'm going to double check on that. I'll have IBM confirm that to see if that's true or not.
Yeah. Okay. Excellent. Okay. Well, any major lessons then? I mean, each week we're trying to grow and get better. Was there a focal point from Coach Shanahan or anything did you guys kind of come around the corner? Or is it just kind of stay focused, get better every day, keep your eyes on the prize?
I think a message this week is that if we're on our stuff and everyone holds each other accountable and we're all like stay dialed in, I think the word would be unfuckwithable. And no matter what happens, you just kind of keep rolling through it. And whether there's a good play or a bad play, you're just like, all right, well, call the next play, Kyle. Like we're gonna go out there and execute. And I think that's just a mindset that, you don't start with that mindset. You have to go out there and prove it consistently. You have to go do all the reps and stuff like that. And you have to get better throughout the course of the season. But I think we're at the point in the season where, hey, yes, week 15, there's 4 games left, and we've done a great job of only looking forward to 1 week ahead at a time. We haven't overlooked anybody, in my opinion. And so for our whole team to come together and, be focused on this week, I think we did a great job of that. And I've loved the energy throughout the entire week. Today at Friday's practice was buzzing. The energy was great. Guys are excited to go play football. And it's just going to be really fun for us.
Excellent. Putting another brick down. So that's really good. Okay. All right. Good. Emma, anything else about the Seahawks you'd like to bring up?
No, but I'd really love to hear some stats on the rest of the league.
Well, we're not quite there yet. We got to do the NFC West standings. So is that what you mean? I know.
Yes.
I know. Everybody's really excited about that.
Stat dad.
And so just responding.
Dad.
Just responding.
No, stat dad.
A lot of the feedback that we've got at people asking for more statistics. So
really,
in response to
the
request of our fans. Okay, Niners 10-3. We know they beat the Seahawks this week at the Cards, who are 3-10. However, we're going to talk about this more. They won at the Steelers 24-10 last week. So
2 weeks ago, they're on their bye last week.
Yeah, that's right. They're on their bye last week, but in the 4 games they have played, they're 2-2 in the last 4 games they play. So they beat them.
And they had an opportunity to beat Houston at the very end, but they missed on a pass pro that would have given them a touchdown with under 20 seconds to go, 26 seconds left maybe.
Right.
So they had the opportunity to win that one. It was a really good game.
Yeah. So they're playing good ball. So, I mean, they're 3-10, but they're kind of growing. They got a new coaching staff and all that kind of stuff. So that one's going to be pretty exciting. All right. The Rams broke my heart. 6-7. They lost at the Ravens 31-37 in a pretty tight game there. This week they are at the Washington Commanders, who are 4-9 and lost to Miami 45-15 last week. That's a tough one.
The Rams lost on an overtime punt return touchdown.
Right.
That hurts.
Yeah. Walk off.
A lot.
Walk off.
Yeah. I don't want to ever be a part of that one.
I'm with you. Okay. So Rams 6-7, Seattle now 6-7 after losing to the Niners, as we know. They host the Philadelphia Eagles. So that's going to be pretty interesting.
Monday night.
Dang.
So that's going to be a little fight up in the Northwest. Eagles now 10-3 after losing to Dallas 33-13, which in the game was not. And that will be Monday Night Football this week. So that's going to be a big one. And I think the Eagles are going to have their hands full on that one. So I think Seattle will really be dialed up for them. And then we know the Cards beat Pitt, and they're coming off their bye week. So that is that.
How about what happened with the Chargers today?
Yeah, you want to jump into that, George, or no?
Yes. The Thursday night football game, Chargers versus the Raiders.
No, they fired the coach.
Oh yeah, what do you want to talk about that? Well, one of the reasons they fired him was because of what happened last night. But yeah, what do you want to talk
What
about?
happened last night? I didn't watch
They
it.
got crushed by the Raiders.
The Raiders were up 49-0, or 42-0 at half. Came out of the second half, scored 49-0, and I think the Chargers scored, then the Raiders scored. I mean, it was 63-21 at the end of the game. But it was 42-0 at half. I've never seen that before in my life. That was tough. That was tough. I don't know how else to put it. That was tough to watch.
That's the same offense that against the Vikings, right?
Yeah, the Raiders offense put up 0 points against the Vikings defense, and then 4 days later goes out and puts up 63.
Right.
Woof.
Who's the quarterback
I don't, but like
right now?
for the Chargers or the Raiders?
The Raiders.
The Raiders. Oh dear. I picked. Oh, that's horrible. That's horrible by me. I'm looking at his face right now. He looks like Farva. That's a compliment, by the way. I don't know if you guys know who that is. Do you guys know who Farva is?
Brett Favre?
No.
No, I love you guys.
Oh no, I don't know. Raiders, no. But we do know who the quarterback is for the Vikings.
Aiden O'Connell. Sorry. I'm sorry, Aiden, if that ever got back to you. I know exactly who you are. My bad. Horrible with names. I'm a numbers guy. But he is number 4. But he did throw 4 touchdown passes. Their offense looked good, but their defense forced five fumbles.
Wow.
Woof. And then they also had a couple interceptions. So that was a dominating performance. It was crazy to watch. Head coach gets fired. They weren't having the greatest year. It was tough. Franchise quarterback goes down. I don't know how much Joey Bosa's played. Khalil Mack is leading the NFL in sacks, so he's still a dog. Still has huge biceps, still violent. So he's playing. But yeah, that's a tough one. And fortunately, I've never been a part of one of those mid-season coaching changes. I think guys like Brandon Staley, but it's hard to be underperforming and then go out on national television and be down 49-0. It just it's tough.
Yeah.
So that's the state of the the NFL is a what have you done for me recently league. So, and if you haven't done a lot for me recently, then we're going to move on and find someone else who will figure it out. So, he's gonna land on his feet somewhere though. I've heard nothing but great things about him, but that's kind of wild. I will say though that Chargers coaching job. Think about who all fired their coaches. The Raiders fired their coach, and it seems like they found an awesome. Hopefully they can figure something out with their interim head coach, because sounds like the guys love him and he's getting them some wins. The Chargers just fired their coach, and there's one other team that fired their coaches as well. Can't remember, but there's probably going to be some more firings after the season. What is the best coaching job out there, Dad? What do you think?
In the NFL?
If you had a choice of any team to be the head coach of, who are you picking? Like that's going to have an opening.
Not the 49ers.
Oh,
He can't coach you.
Yeah, I was honestly. Well, I don't know who all the teams are. Of those you listed, I don't know. You can go by geography as far as that goes in the city, but really the most important thing I think for the coach is really about the organization. Are the owners really invested? Enough to put money into it? Are they going to let you do your job, not micromanage you? You were wanting to say something. Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. So this is the Chargers, the Panthers, and the Raiders are technically open jobs. They all have interim head coaches, but all the head coaches and all the head coaches were fired. And then I'm just reading a tweet right now about who they think might be other possibilities would be potentially the Patriots, which is that's crazy to me with Bill Belichick, the Commanders, and the Bears. So if you look at those 6 teams, and this is not my tweets; these are Mike Golick juniors,
Yep.
and so no free shout outs, Mike. But I saw that tweet today, and I was like, oh, that's actually a good thought process. Like, what team would you want to take over?
List them again, George. Chargers,
Chargers, Panthers,
Raiders,
Bears, Washington, and New
Patriots.
England.
Yeah.
And that, those 3 teams, they still have their head coaches. I'm not saying that they should be fired by any means. I'm just saying hypothetically.
Let's play the game.
It's interesting.
Who are you choosing?
Yeah.
Well, for me, the only team on the north side that I'd want to take would be the Bears, and so that's not one.
Well, the Bears also, they're going to have 2. They have the first overall pick because they get that from Carolina. No, not Carolina. Who? Somebody. The Bears have the first overall pick from someone who's having a tough season, which I think is Carolina. And then they also right now have the 5th overall pick. And they also have a bunch of other picks. So the Bears have the most draft picks in this upcoming draft. So you can look at that.
And they're building a new stadium. So that's going to be good. They're going
The Bears are?
Yeah.
Whoa.
They're moving out west a little bit. And so I'm not quite sure the completion rate that. So it's obviously not going to be ready next year. But otherwise, I'd want to be staying somewhere warm, personally.
I know. City-wise, I'd be going with the Chargers for sure.
Well, yes, you live in California right now, Emma.
Yeah.
But, so, my thing with the Chargers is you're getting, Justin Herbert, who is a very talented quarterback. And it's been proven time and time again that quarterback is the most important position. So you could kind of stack up that defense, try to get him some pass catchers, which he still has Keenan Allen and Mike Williams, but I'm pretty sure Mike's been hurt. They've got players. So it's just, can you figure that out? Then like the one thing though that's tough for me is like one thing that I've been blessed with my NFL career is that the 49ers faithful fan base is incredible. It is loyal, and they show up and show out. And like any fan base, like if you're really struggling, like there might not sell at stadiums and stuff like that, which I understand. Like I've been a fan of football games too, but when you're rolling or it's a primetime game, like no matter how good you are, they're packed, locked, and loaded. It's really fun. And then when we are playing at a high level, like hey, we have like 65% of the tickets at Arizona Stadium on Sunday, which is pretty cool. That's just how our fans, that's what they do. And so the jokes that I always see on Twitter or X, whatever it's called now, is that it's like the Chargers have 43 fans across America. And it just like that just would be tough for me to not, have a fan base that's as supportive as the one that we have currently. It'd be tough.
Yeah, I think that's really true because we travel all the time and we've seen so many different stadiums. It was great at the Eagles. They're very, we say, attentive crowd. But by 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter, it was empty almost entirely except for Niner fans. That was pretty cool. It was a beautiful sight. So it was super fun that way. So, yeah, I think the fan base. And then the other thing I don't know about those other organizations, internally within the organization, how healthy are they? Because I think that makes a lot of difference. Because if you're going to get a lot of, backstabbing, second guessing, if the owner's going to be dabbling with your, roster and all that kind of bullshit. So that's not a very good situation. So I think one thing about the Niners, I think as an organization, the Orcs do a great job putting the money into it, paying for players. And you guys, you have it pretty well. From the chefs and the food and the facilities and all the other things they take care of for you guys. And they don't mess around with Kyle. They let Kyle be Kyle and do Kyle for the most part.
That they do.
So that's the kind of things I would be looking for. I think are really important as a head coach to try to go into a situation where you at least got solid foundation and footing where you can do your job and have a chance to be successful or fail on your own merits and not have other people messing with you. So like I said, I don't know much about that. So I'd have a little inkling to go back to Chicago, even though it's kind of cold. Like to think the organization's solid, but I don't know that.
Mm-hmm. So that's another tough thing. You just don't know because you've heard, horror stories, about other teams in the years past, whether it's an owner, whether it's a GM, whether it's people on the inside, like, you want to assume that everyone's in it together and trying to win football games, but you really don't know until you get there and you experience it for yourself.
Right. And then if you're a new head coach coming in, then you got to deal with the GM. Is the GM also getting fired or are you stuck with
Sure, you're going to bring in your own guy.
Yeah.
But
you have to.
All right, we got to go to the next topic. You guys can talk about.
All right, here I go. Okay, I'm going to roll through the stats first, and then we're going to do details.
No, stat dad.
I like this part. Okay, Eagle stats. They're 27th in scoring, 18 points per game versus the Niners.
The
who are
Eagles?
third. Yeah.
The Eagles or the Cardinals?
Oh, sorry, didn't change that. Sorry, Cardinals.
Hey, just
You're
real
2
quick.
weeks behind, my guy.
What was your favorite time
You're
that you
2
played
weeks
the Cardinals?
behind. The Eagles were 2 weeks ago.
Well, I used that format for this and then changed it. I forgot to change that.
Stubborn.
You used a format for the
It's-
Seahawks too, and you didn't change it.
What?
It says Cardinals right there.
What was your favorite time you played the Cardinals?
My favorite time playing the Cardinals? Why?
I was just wondering.
Last year was pretty fun. What do you there on the left?
Mexico.
Oh yeah, duh.
Duh.
Forgot about that. Yeah, that was like one of my favorite
As
football
we're
games ever.
reading this script, all I can think about, if y'all were at the huddle, Bruce is like, our guy Nick Clark, shout out, many free shout outs to Nick Clark, but
Love that.
he asked us if we can get on the stage. And of course I said, yes, give Bruce the microphone. And so we get up there and
I read stats.
Bruce did not go into stat dad mode. Instead, he was talking about roasting a Cardinal on a barbecue. And the crowd was going crazy. It was amazing. It was amazing. It was amazing.
Hey, we cut promos, man. We cut promos.
That's exactly right. My next one, though, Georgie, this was a tough one for you, though. I can't remember which year, but like second play of the game, I don't know if you were doing a wham block or what, but you were leading something and guy came in and took your knee out. And like
No, that was the very first play of the game off the backside of outside zone.
Okay.
And Chandler Jones made the front side guy miss. Not going to throw anyone under the bus for that one.
Right.
But they didn't block him. He dove, running back cut up, and his top of his helmet went through my knee as it was planted in the ground and it bent backwards.
Right.
I ended up hyperextending my knee and chipping my tibia.
Yep.
I missed the rest of that drive because that was the first down. And they taped me up, and the next drive I was out there, and I had a good night. I had a touchdown, some nice catches. And what was it? I think I actually had to take myself out of the game and like halfway through the fourth quarter because I couldn't walk anymore. And I got MRI the next day that said hyperextended. I was like, I think there's something in my ankle. Got a CT scan, and they're like, oh no, you definitely chipped the bone. I was like,
you mean you felt the little piece floating around, or you felt the fracture?
No, it was still kind of. It was more of it was like a small fracture, and at the very bottom, it was because when my foot was in the ground and my knee got hit, the front of my ankle and like the tibia hit each other so hard that the bone fractured or chipped or whatever it was. But yeah, no, I played 3.5 quarters with that.
I know, and I won't mention any defensive names of the other players, but one of our good friends, that one play with the touchdown was like the catch and the juke, and then the run by, and then the stiff arm, and then stumble.
Oh no, you could talk about it. Me and Boot have a great rivalry little going on.
Yeah.
Much respect. We like how each other plays, and we love competing against each other. But I mean, we've each gotten each other.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the fun thing about rivalries. And it's fun competing with someone like that. And like, I don't really consider it a rivalry. It's more of a rivalry just because it's the Arizona Cardinals. We play them twice a year, and I see them twice a year. But it's not like me and Buddha go up against every single play, like spit in each other's face or anything like that. It's just, there's occasional from time to time we get an opportunity to go against each other, and it's usually pretty exciting when we do.
Yeah.
Has someone ever? Is that a thing? Do football players spit in each other's faces?
No, it's very disrespectful. Don't do that.
Yeah,
You'll get fought pretty quick. That'd be no. No, that's not a thing for most people. I think if you got caught spitting on someone's face, that you would get kind of blacklisted by players throughout the league. It's a pretty disrespectful thing to do.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Just had to put a pin in that really quick.
Yeah, no, that was just kind of like, spit in each other's face. Like, I was just like a phrase.
Click.
Are we still playing phrasing or no?
Say what?
Nothing. Never mind. Move on.
Phrasing.
That's okay.
Okay. All right. Well, all right. I'll just summarize the stats, and I'm not even going to talk to them. They are 21st or worse in every category that we monitor, except for one. And I think this is a legit one to just mention. They are ninth in rush yards, average 124 yards per game. Niners are third at 140. Our defense has played the rush really well, and they do really well. So they're still first in points allowed.
We are out both of our D tackles.
Right. So Hargrave's
and also they've been playing a lot of nickel defense recently, and their nickel defense is actually 12th in the NFL in rush yards per game.
Oh, defend.
If they're in nick,
Yeah.
if they're defending the run in nickel, they're 12th.
Yeah.
So they're figuring it out. Like, and I can give you my little spiel on Arizona?
Yeah, go. That's
Action.
what. Yeah.
Action.
Cheers.
Spiel
on, brother.
Well, okay, so they've got two of their best players on the team back. Buddha's back, and he looks just like Buddha. So flying around, 120%, all effort, every single play, disrupting the run, disrupting the pass. He's playing at a high level. The other side, Kyler, and Kyler looks good. It's one of the things we're that you see on tape right now with Kyler is he's like staying in the pocket. And in years past, like in his old offensive scheme, he would like literally say hike and he would just kind of like back up 10 yards and then like throwing a 5-yard out pass was like a 25-yard ball. And now he's like staying in the pocket, stepping up in the pocket, delivering these throws, trusting his offensive lineman. And when you have a guy that trusts the pocket and will sit in it, will make throws, but also has his crazy 4.4 or whatever, how fast he is, speed, that's pretty lethal. It's super lethal. It's very, very, it's super tough. So our defense definitely has its hands full. But then like you also look at their defense. It's the same defense. They've added Buddha. They've kind of changed some of their corners, but the guys that they have out there, you can tell that they've been playing the same scheme for 15 weeks. They've gotten better at it. And they're not a team that's just like, oh, I'm good. Like, this isn't the greatest team. They're fighting and they're flying. And like one of Coach Shanahan's favorite things to show up with the Niners tape is, how our like backside pursuit on defense just chases everybody down. And if you try to cut across the field, you're getting messed up by Dre Greenlaw, Nick Bosa, or our backside corner safeties coming to hit you, stuff like that. They do the same thing. And not every team does that. You'd be amazed. But this team is doing that. They're doing the little things. So this is going to be this. I mean, this is going to be a challenge. It's the NFL. Anything can happen any Sunday. But they're definitely better than the last time we played them. And the last time we played them, Brock Purdy went 24 of 25. And that was needed.
Yeah.
He's from Arizona, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I get a hot tub? His parents sell hot tubs.
Oh, nice. Okay. I do remember now that. Yeah.
I know. Yeah.
And he played in a okay. He played in the Iowa State played Oregon in the bowl game there when he was in college.
Oh.
And they actually
Didn't know that.
they defeated Oregon,
Wow, wow, wow.
which was a big win. So, okay. Anything else you want to see, George? I was just going to. So we obviously know Murray, their running back. James Conner is their leading rusher.
Yeah, James is a dog. Oh, you know what? Let's get some tight end love out here. Trey McBride, I think he's in his second year. He's the Colorado State kid.
Yep.
It was either first or second round draft pick last year. He's having a good year. They gave him the starting role. He's getting a lot of targets. They're feeding him a little bit. He's had a couple of games over 100 yards. He's playing well. He's a lot of effort in the run game. Like he's playing tight end the right way. So
he's the leading receiver.
Yeah, that's
610 yards and 2 TDs.
He's playing well.
Yeah, he's playing really well. So, and then on defense, I just went by the leading tacklers, but it's their strong safety, Jalen Thompson, and then in order are the two corners, Wilson and Clark are the next two. So I always think it's a little iffy when the guys in your secondary are the leading tacklers.
Yeah, no, the way that their defense is set up, that's
how it's structured.
Yeah.
Okay. So they're doing
kind of how it's structured.
Yeah.
They're doing what they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
I mean, like one of the things they changed was they benched one or two of their corners for guys who played, cover two better. That would fill and tackle guys at the line of scrimmage. Because, so like I mean, they're not shy about, hey, this is our standard, and if you don't do it, we'll find someone else to do it better. And that's good, especially when you're a new head coach. So he's definitely doing the right thing there.
Right. Okay. So all good there. So like you said, I think they're surging. They've been getting better over the 15 weeks. You've already talked. I had in there just what you've seen on tape that makes them a challenge. If there's anything else you want to add. You talked about Kyler Murray already. And then I don't know, keys to victory or is there anything special about challenges that they pose? I mean, you might have already covered that pretty good.
So just what they do on defense, one of the cool things they do in nickel is they have one linebacker out there, and then they have a net of 5 DBs across the top, and then between 34 and Buddha, they'll just like at the hike of the ball, one of them will run down to either the boundary or to the field, and they'll just be the new Mike linebacker.
Right.
And so it's just like a lot of targeting issues. That's what you watch on tape. Like it's very difficult to target all the time because you don't know exactly what they're going to be doing. But then you have 5 DBs all of a sudden, and a guy steps up, and then all of a sudden Buddha's dropping in coverage as a Mike linebacker, and he just fits into a little spot, and you don't see him just because you didn't expect him to fly down and then fly all the way back, and all of a sudden he's in a hole. You're just like, oh shit, where'd he come from? Excuse my language. But they've gotten really good at doing that. So,
Georgie, explain to people what targeting is for offense.
Football 101.
As in the penalty targeting or targeting for an offensive line?
You were talking about the safeties coming down, so it creates a lot of problems
Yeah.
for the O-line on targeting. So just explain about how to
Yeah.
do the count.
So in our offense, you have run plays that are like Mike declared, which is the Mike linebacker. So like if we're playing the Niners defense, if we call a certain play, we're targeting Fred Warner if we're playing that defense. Or if we're running a will declared play, we're targeting the will linebacker. Right? That's all it is. And so when Jake has to come to the line of scrimmage, he needs to find the Mike and target him. So then like, okay, hey, I'm gonna single to the Mike linebacker. So then that tells the front side guys what their combination block needs to do, and it tells the backside what their combination blocks need to do, and also tells them where they need to go.
Right. I just think it's important people know, for like the Niners, they know that Fred plays Mike, but given the formation and the way the defense sets up, who they identify as the Mike may not really be the Mike linebacker because they could be split over. They could have the safety down and all that kind of stuff. And so it's really important. And so basically the idea is this is where the center's working toward, and then everybody else makes all their combos off of that. And so it tells everybody where to go. And then if the safety's off at depth and now is shooting up to play run, he's not counted for in the count. We don't have a body to block him, and it makes it complicated. So
and that's been like one of the most difficult things with playing the Cardinals and Budda Baker is he's such a downhill guy, and he's fast enough to also recover if it's a pass. But like he triggers very fast, and he's like lightning fast. And so if you can't account for him, he'll fly down from 14 yards and he'll make the tackle in the backfield sometimes. Like his quick trigger is crazy. And so you have to really build in to account for him. And like we saw this 2020 week 1 of the season, we lost at home to the Cardinals, and Buddha had like 18 tackles, and we just like didn't account for him at all. And so then it was like that game we're like, okay, from here on out, where's Buddha and how are we going to do it? And like it's a different defense now than it has been the last couple of years, but that's still an overwhelming issue is where's Buddha and how we're going to block him.
Right. So they like to play games with that. So that's really cool. Okay, then keys to victory. I think they're always kind of the same, at least in my mind. But
this week's a little different, Dad.
Okay, what do you got?
Block Buddha, contain Kyler, don't turn the ball over, score touchdowns, give the ball to Christian.
Okay. The only other one
like
I had is run the ball and stop the run.
That works too, or throw the ball to George in the red zone.
Bam! Yeah.
Hey, speaking of that, did somebody break a record?
Did I?
Well, you joined the 6,000 club.
I did join the 6,000 club. Yes, I was the 5th tight end to do it.
Like we've been doing a lot of applauses.
Thank you. You guys are too nice. I appreciate you guys.
So you joined a
Pretty
club
fun.
with, is there 3 other players? I think 4.
I'm the 5th.
You're the 5th tight end, yeah. Pretty exclusive club too, so that's pretty cool. So congratulations. So now the 5th tight end to reach 6,000 receiving yards in their first 7 years within the league. So anyway,
cool.
We're very proud of you.
That is cool.
Let's get another 1,000.
Let's get another 1,000.
Hey, one of our questions, I have these pulled up, but I just thought this question was so funny. Somebody just sent a message on the Ask George thing and just goes, how's it feel to be fast?
Feels really good. It makes being an athlete a lot easier.
Georgie, what's the fastest you've ever been clocked?
On a football field, I think I hit 21.4 miles an hour.
21.4.
And that was in 2018. Someone fumbled the ball. Aqib Talib picked it up, and I chased him down.
Ooh,
it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
it was sick.
Okay. Let's see. Well, we have our category section next. So Dini, wine, shoes, food, and/or the holidays, or something else.
I got shoes.
Okay.
These are my Jordan 1s, limited edition Gatorades. When I was a Gatorade athlete, I found out that they did a little collaboration with Jordan. And so I've gone out and collected all the colors. These are my lemon limes. I have grape. We got the glacier freeze. We got the orange. And those are all just the Jordan 1s. And there's other Jordans, but the Jordan 1s are awesome. I'm also wearing my Jordan,
You like Mike?
my Gatorade Jordan tee, which is also sick. But actually, you know what? I was wearing it today because it was out, and I really like these shoes. I don't think I've shown my Gatorade shoes yet.
They're very pretty.
Cool.
Very clean.
Okay.
Thank you.
How about
Emma, what's your favorite Gatorade flavor of all time? Can you name more than 4?
Well, I really like the lemon lime one. I genuinely do like that one. I also have become a fan of Fast Twitch. Whenever I'm in Nashville with you, it is a fun party to crack open a Fast Twitch as I like warm up with the Juve and then start to work out. Man, you just feel like a superhero. So that's
That
pretty
shit
fun.
kicks.
I also like the icy white one, the Frost. Is that what it was?
Glacier freeze.
Glacier freeze. And then those are probably my favorites.
They just came out with a new Fast Twitch flavor. Grape has officially hit shelves.
George, tell us the story of when you did your first Fast Twitch commercial and how you were just sipping. One more sip.
Oh my gosh. No, we were doing was this one in at the Super Bowl?
No, it was the one before because they were more mindful of not having you do it at the Super Bowl.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so they kept having me. They're like, "Hey, will you just take a sip of this?" And I was like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Okay, just do it." Oh, this was when we were in LA, Dad, and we filmed that before the season.
right?
I flew out and I drank probably 4 full fast switches over the course of like 2 hours. They just kept like, "Hey, we just need you to, just take a sip. Just take a sip for like this 1 second shot for this photo." And then about halfway through, they were like, "How many of those have you had?" I was like, "I don't know. Can you tell how many I've had?"
Like, George, could you close your eyes a little bit?
I love Gatorade. Is it in you? And so they switched it to cranberry juice for me, which isn't my favorite, but it was much needed. Wow.
Yeah.
I crashed so hard. I think I was flying back to San Fran after that, unconscious. It was great. But
That's funny.
yeah, protect yourself. Oh my gosh. Have I talked to you guys about this? Speaking of caffeine, totally random. Did you guys see that Panera lemonade Energizer drink that's killing people?
Oh,
No.
You didn't see this yet?
no.
All right, horrible news, but a phenomenal story. For those who are listening, I love TMZ Daily Mail stuff on Snapchat. Like,
Snapchat.
I think that is so funny. I think it's so funny. I love being dialed in. Like, I'm dialed into random like Hollywood things just from the outside that you guys would never expect me to be involved in because I absolutely love that type of drama sometimes. Not for me personally, I hate it, but to read up on other people dealing with stuff, I get why it's so fascinating. And another reason I probably never would live in LA. But,
But
what was I just talking about? I got distracted by TMZ.
Panera.
the Panera.
Panera, thank you.
Man.
So I saw a story, and so Panera has this lemonade, and I don't know why someone messed something up, but this lemonade, it's the Energizer lemonade, and it has 390 milligrams of caffeine in it per drink.
Oh, man.
For those listening at home, the average espresso shot has 65 milligrams of caffeine. So this one has 390 milligrams. It tastes good, and there's free refills. And so it's killing people with heart conditions. And like allegedly, at least 3 people have already died.
Wow.
What's Panera doing making something with that much caffeine in it? That's crazy.
Wow. And no, the fact that that meant that much caffeine, but free refills.
Free refills. Yeah, that's deadly.
Like, hey, I'm gonna go get. If I was 17 in high school, or like your lunch break, you go to Panera. Oh, this is great. I feel great. I'm gonna get one before the road. You're sitting at, oh my God, 700,
700.
almost 800 milligrams of caffeine.
Okay,
You don't need that.
Georgie, and I just want you to picture at Panera, there's a market developing team. Somebody came up with an idea for this lemonade. There was a group of people that said, yeah, 390 milligrams of caffeine.
Wait. Are we saying that? Because that seems illegal.
390. Yeah, no, I've looked into it. It's 390 milligrams.
No, I know that, but I just like.
No, so like
or was it a mistake? And
So
are all the deaths coming from the same Panera? Like, is it a bad batch, or is it like?
So the way that I understood it, and I've read very lightly, and I've just kind of read the tweets that have been talking about it because it kind of blew up over like a couple days ago or over the weekend, and it made it sound like it was a mistake, but it wasn't just at one Panera.
Whoa, that's scary.
Yeah, that's a tough one for Panera. Things that are tough on Hidden Pros podcast.
Wow. It's almost like they made the lemonade.
TMZ tough.
And then
tough times on TMZ.
And then at the store, they added the caffeine and they screwed it up.
Ooh.
Okay. Em, any updates on the Hidden Pearl Studio app launch that we need to cover?
App launch. It's going great. We had our first live class, so that was really fun. Had a great time meeting some of our people, so really enjoyed doing that. If you want to be a part of our live workshops every month, we're doing them the second Tuesday of the month. Yes, you're always welcome to jump in and join. We are still running our promotion for the first founding 100. So the first 100 members who join Hidden Pearl Studio with an annual membership, sign up through the website because then the discount code works. Then you're grandfathered into $100 off for life. And we're really excited because you guys will like this. Okay, so George, have you watched the Obi-Wan Kenobi show?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So
I'm Star Wars.
Watched it. Cody and I just watched it. My husband is an insane Star Wars nerd. And
yes.
So for January, the energy of our first body. So we're dialing back into our yoga numerology, but it's all about our soul body and our soul body. And the way that I like to describe it, it's like if you were in like a best friend relationship with the universe and you're just in flow, there's a lot of play, you're feeling very connected. And it's kind of like that childlike joy in everything that you're doing. And as I'm trying to like study this and prepare some content for, Dad.
I'm being fluid. I'm in my soul.
Totally.
Okay, go.
Totally. Okay. As I'm starting to like read up and learn about this, I am watching Obi-Wan Kenobi. And you remember that scene where little Princess Leia is like, what does the Force feel like? You guys remember this? Mm-hmm. And he looks at her and says, have you ever been afraid of the dark before? And she says, yes. And he goes, how did you feel when they turned the lights back on? She goes, I feel safe. He goes, that's what the Force feels like, safety. And I was watching it and I was like, oh my God, that's your soul body. So for January, we're really going to be diving into that connection and like how to have the connection with yourself and then kind of what it means and the practices around activating that. So I'm really excited because I feel like the more that I'm like tuning into all this energy, all of these like real world examples, AKA real world Ewan McGregor, are tuning in and showing up for me. So I'm really excited for everyone to tune in for January.
That was good.
Wow. Okay. Let's all bend our full bodies.
Hey, everyone, knock it up for Emma.
What? Oh,
knock it up.
Also, another exciting thing is our grandma Lucky, who's 100 years old, is coming to the game this weekend. So our grandma Lucky, and then the newest member of the Krager family, Tigress Joy Diaz Nye, is also going to be there. So we're very excited to have quite the age range.
Our oldest clan member and our youngest.
Yeah, our oldest tribe member and our youngest tribe member.
That's pretty cool. And Teddy.
Ted's
not coming.
Ted's not coming.
Ted's not going?
He's not allowed.
Why isn't Teddy going?
Because every time he goes to a Cardinals game, he ends up running on the field. He's gotten arrested twice.
He pees in people's helmets.
And it's just been
crazy things go down.
He's just wild. Like his feet touch the field and he's just a different guy.
For those at home, how old is Teddy?
5.
He's 5 years old. Yeah,
We're
okay.
joking.
You
We're
guys.
completely lying. We're completely lying.
Yeah, okay.
These are the children of George's cousin Jesse and I.
We love.
Jesse and Alora.
Yeah.
But Teddy's probably the most handsome kid I've ever seen.
He's very
He
very gorgeous.
he's going to break so many hearts.
I kissed him on the cheek goodnight, and he goes, "See you later, alligator."
No, he did not.
Yeah, he did. I swear to God. I swear to. Hey, guess what? Okay, guess this, George. So
He's
we're
such a
watching.
dog.
We're trying to figure out what show to watch, and like all these shows keep coming up, and there's like a little undertone of violence. The show that we land on, you have to guess this. We watched this a lot when we were growing up. Tune it back. What show did we watch a lot when we were growing up? I can't give you too many cues.
A show that we watched a lot growing up.
With our cousins.
Yeah, can you give me? Is it a cartoon? Is it Power Rangers?
Animated.
One of the first.
I have no idea.
Watched it when like on Sundays when we would have like church outings.
Emma,
Just
I watched a lot of
Come on,
cartoons.
you know this.
Okay.
Street Sharks.
VeggieTales.
Where was I ever going to guess that?
Jesse and Henry guessed it, or Henry guessed it immediately, so I thought you were going to pick up on it. All right, anyway,
Let's move
That's
on.
right over my
Okay.
head.
Any Ask Georgia Football 101s we're still doing?
100.
Well, we're not doing 100.
All right.
So, but pick your best. Bring
All
your
right.
best.
Oh, Emma, you're unreal.
George. I'm going to tell Henry he's going to be disappointed.
George, do you
Guess a
remember the
cartoon
trip
we
that
used
you
to
wore in
watch.
7th grade to the first day of
Emma,
school?
I was the youngest cousin. I
That's
don't remember
true.
that
You
stuff.
were,
like
you were
guys.
younger. All right. The Ask George questions. Thoughts
Oh,
on. All right. So Isaac Luna wants to know, what are your thoughts on Rey Mysterio?
Ooh, Isaac Luna, what's up, man? Rey Mysterio, first off, awesome person. We've gotten to meet him multiple times. He has been so kind and so generous with his time and like has stopped and talked to me and just been like very, very cool overall to me, my wife. My dad's met him, my mom's met him. Like he has been phenomenal and also like just an absolute legend in the ring. Yeah, he's fantastic, and I just love seeing him every time because it's just so impressive what he can do in the ring, and he's done it for such a long time.
He's yoked.
Huge fan.
He's yoked.
Fun fact: Ray also hooked up the 49ers with lucha masks for the Mexico City game.
Oh, that was cool.
Yeah,
That was
Ray's
cool.
great people.
All right. GILR Academic.
Giller.
Giller. Giller wants to know, if you had a chance to RKO someone, who would it be?
If I could RKO anybody, who would I want to RKO?
It's kind of calling him out. He's going to name somebody.
I know.
I would. That's a great question. Let's see. If I could RKO out of nowhere anybody, I'd RKO Kyle Shanahan. Yeah, just for fun.
George,
Amazing.
what if someone doesn't know what RKO is? Can you just
RKO is Randy Orton's signature move from WWE. It's out of nowhere, so it's unexpected, and he runs up and kind of jumps in front of the guy with it, and Randy's back will be like feet out, back facing the ground, and he kind of grabs the back of the guy's head and brings him to the ground with him. And it's the Legend Killer. That's what it is, the Viper, and that is a fantastic question. And I'd probably pick Kyle, or I would also pick I would RKO CJ Beathard.
Siege?
Siege can get it.
Getting love. Getting love from here.
Okay. George, what's your favorite color? Nate
Blue.
Texie. Favorite
Hey,
color?
Nate.
Hey,
My
Nate.
favorite color is blue.
Danny Taylor, our friends in Australia. Could you recommend a book to read?
Okay. You guys, I'm reading right now is a series that I guess is really popular. And I'm more of I used to read books all of the time, but now I don't really have time to sit and read. And so I use Audible, or something like that to listen while I drive into work every day. And I found that to be the easiest way to get through books for me. And right now I am listening to A Court of Thorns and Roses, that series. I don't know if you guys know anything about that. Apparently it's really popular. Ross Dwelly We play video games together. We play Call of Duty, Warzone together. The dynamic duo, the stream team, and his wife was like, "Yeah, no, you can go play video games." And he'd be like, "Yeah, no, she's reading her book." And like that was going on for like 2 weeks. I was like, "Dude, what book is she reading? Because she's letting you play a lot of video games. And can I get my wife to read this book because so I can play more video games?" And he told me what it was. And he was like, "Well, I'm actually reading it too now." And the main character is like a 19-year-old. It's a fantasy book. I'm big into the fantasy stuff. Like I like fantasy worlds. I like all this imagination stuff. I think that stuff's really fun and it's a different way to think. And so I started it, and it is. I just started the third book today. Thoroughly enjoying it. It's there. There's some slow parts to it, and the main character is definitely a 19-year-old girl, but the violent and the fighting scenes are really well done. And so I'm thoroughly enjoying it. And I just got Emma's husband onto it too. Cody's listening. He's probably ahead of me.
Obsessed. He is ahead of you.
Yeah, he's way ahead of me. I took like a week off, but I'm back in it. I just started book 3, and you know what? I'm gonna finish this series out.
Cool.
Favorite? Okay. Mar.so27 wants to know what's your favorite Marvel comic?
My favorite Marvel. So like the that's tough because when I was a kid, like I would read any comic that my parents could get in front of me. Like I didn't really collect the old comics. And so the comics that I actually just started to collect were the original Thor comics is what I have. And I've read those. Those are phenomenal. Like the one, what is it? Thor versus the God Killer, the Butcher, the God Butcher, which is what the movie was just about that came out. It wasn't a very good movie, but it was a great villain. Gore was a great villain. So I've like those are great. But the classic Spider-Mans are my favorite. I think those are just so well done and so fun. I've read a bunch of those.
All right, we actually have a ton of football 101 questions that I want to get into. So this is from Sean Mountain, Sean MTAN, Mountain Man, maybe. I don't know. Do you
Hi,
think,
Sean.
hey, Sean, do you think right tackle is more important versus left tackle in today's NFL?
No. No. I mean, it depends. Like Tua's right tackle is probably more important than his left tackle because he's left-handed. But like you have to protect the guy's blind side. So
What do
yeah,
you
no,
think?
Sean.
Bruce was a left tackle.
I was. Yeah, that's kind of the cornerstone of the offensive line typically. As long
Now,
as
is it a benefit to have a great right tackle? Yeah, for sure. It's
Sure.
great to have a great right tackle too.
Who is the Niners'
But
right and left tackle?
Trent
Colt
Williams is the
McKivitz
left tackle.
and Colt McKivitz,
Cole McKivitz is the right tackle. So that would used to be.
West Virginia's finest.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
they're doing a great job this year.
George, explain why it matters if you're left to right-handed for the quarterback.
Oh, right-handed. My chest when I'm dropping back and I'm standing in the pocket, I'm facing the right because my right hand's back. I mean, I can see if the right tackle gets like whiffs, and so I can have more time to escape. The left tackle, your back's always to it, and so you never know, and so it's protecting the blind side,
Right.
which is what you guys have seen in a movie before.
Exactly. So that's why. So left or right hand kind of depends. So you want it to that guy's hand, so his backside's always protected that way. So,
Yeah.
but they're both pretty important. But yeah. Okay.
All right.
You get 3.
YK Izzy 85 and Logan Lejour 85. Their questions are: how can I get better as a tight end, or any advice for young tight ends?
My advice for young tight ends is so when I was a tight end, I didn't become a tight end until I got to college, and I fortunately went to a place where run blocking tight ends, the standard was you either did it and you figured out how to do it, or you would never play. And so I quickly figured out that okay, I got to figure out how to do this. I had no idea. Like I did, like I knew how to put my hands. I understood like your first steps. I kind of understood like the basics of it just because of my dad, and he would tell me about it. But I played wide receiver and free safety. Like I didn't play tight end in high school. I have like a total of 3 snaps with my hand in the dirt all of high school. And I was a wide receiver, free safety, like I said, and to make that transition, it was difficult. And my biggest tips to you are run a bunch of routes, catch a bunch of stuff, because at the end of the day, the most important thing is like that is a huge, huge emphasis. People like stats, people like that stuff. But when you have time, go listen to offensive linemen. go do drills with the offensive lineman. Learn how to block. Learn how to put your pads on somebody. It is weird and it is awkward if you've never done it before. And it is not blocking is not a natural thing. It is something that you have to take thousands and thousands of reps to get good at. And then once it kind of clicks for you, then you're like, oh, then it makes sense. But you can't. The switch just doesn't flip for you. It's not like that. Like how many times have you gone outside and ran routes with your friends and you've gone to 7-on-7 tournaments? Everybody does that. Nobody does the run blocking stuff because it's not sexy and it doesn't have the statistics to it. But if you can put on tape that you give effort in the run game and you can kind of do it, and then you're also good in all the pass routes and running routes and catching touchdowns and stuff, holy cow, all you've done is just excelled. And all you're doing is giving you a chance to live out your dreams. And then on top of that, one more thing is the only things that you control every single day are your attitude, your energy, and your effort. Do great with those three things, and you have a chance.
I love it. Dad, what's the quote of the week? Or actually,
We got a
let's talk
couple
about
of
our charity of the week and our veterans.
Okay. The only other thing too is now they have all these big man camps, and I know tight ends don't really want to go to that because it's tough. But if you haven't done it, it's a great experience. If you can get 2 or 3 days at one of those big man camps, run blocking and pass protecting, I mean, you will learn a lot because they have some good coaches. So that's another thought. Did we want to do the mindful moment? Georgie, do you have a mindfulness moment just in prep or during the week sometime where you kind of caught yourself paying attention that you recalibrated and realigned that helped you reset and kind of show up the way you want to show up?
I just got a fun thing that happened.
Okay.
It made me reevaluate, make me appreciate things. Last night, Thursday night, I had dinner with the McCaffreys, and you know what? My first 4 years in the league, I lived in an apartment building, so I could like see my buddies and my friends like all the time, and like three of my best friends lived in the apartment building. And the last couple of years, I have not. You know, guys move. You know, guys either retire, get traded, or move away, or like you don't live close enough. Like me and Juice live like 30 minutes away from each other, so it's hard to see Juice all the time. But it was at the McCaffreys for dinner just made me remember how much fun I have just hanging out with the boys throughout the week because I really you don't really do that and you just see each other at work every single day and you're still friends, you're having good conversation, but when you're outside of football, it's just completely different. So
Very cool.
that was fun for me.
Anything, or you want to pass? You can, whatever.
She passed.
I'm gonna teach mindfulness. Right? Like I have like 100 moments that I could.
Okay. Yeah, we'll go. Well, you weren't jumping on it. I'm just going to offer the holiday season. We all get a chance to see some family. Maybe we haven't seen so much. And so my mindfulness really helped. They had a little bit of that this last week. And so just kind of checking what was going on with me thought-wise, cognitively, as well as kind of emotionally, and just kind of prepping myself to stay kind of in that level keen and just kind of remember I want to be about love and kindness and let them deal with their own bullshit and not get tied up in it. So I spent a lot of time kind of regrounding and re-entering space and trying to be present in a way that I would not regret later. So, and for the most part, that worked out pretty good. So anyway, just, it's a tool for you. So if you're going into any of those situations and they're not easy, just know that we're here for you and we wish you the best. So just take a few breaths, remember who you want to be, and stay true to your values. Okay.
It's a great one. For me, it has been because we're doing some work on our house right now. And so we've been like living in a construction zone for the past couple months. And for anyone who's done it, it's just kind of exhausting you start to get like really nitpicky and like annoyed about little stuff. And my mindfulness moment came when I realized that my mindset had like shifted away from being so grateful and happy to be in our new home to like just noticing all the little things. And so I had to really let go, surrender to it, and, just be chill that there's dust on stuff and, we don't have cabinets yet, but it's coming together. So it was more just, reframing things, and at least we do have our own space as we enter the holidays. And we have a Christmas tree, so that counts.
Right. Put energy into things that you can actually control.
Exactly.
And what we can control is how we respond to life's things. Okay, real quick. Last week, our veteran guests, we had 6 total guests at the Seahawks game. We had 4 from Irreverent Warriors. And then just a shout out to our good friend Jack Wurzberger in Dubuque, Iowa. We brought his cousin's daughter, who is an Army vet, And so it was great to see her. So that was
It
super.
was great. She was cool.
She,
I enjoyed talking to her.
Yep, she brought, and that was really fun. This week we got 8 total folks showing up. So we have 5 from MVP. We've got 1 Navy, 2 Marines, and 2 Army. So
That's sick.
that'll be pretty fun. And then we've got 3 coming from the U.S. Air Force. And I just want to shout out to them. It was really interesting. We just got a random email. They actually emailed Rubicon. And then Pete forwarded it to me. And so she flies emergency air anyway for med stuff. And she said, I'm a huge Niners fan. I'm going to be home for the Niners when they're in Phoenix, and I'm stationed out of Phoenix. Any chance I can get tickets? And we thought, what the
We
heck?
said yes.
We said yes to that.
I love that.
Absolutely, you
So
can have a ticket.
anyway, so they're coming. All right. And then
Thanks for asking.
Yeah. So pretty fun. Thank you, Pete. Last week we were the Eric Armstead Academic Project. We talked about that. You can find links on all that. This week, our focus charity is the Chris Long Foundation. So if you don't know the Chris Long Foundation, Chris played ball for a long time, great player, son to Howie Long, and they fund entire wells in East Africa, support water access in the Navajo Nation and in rural America, and provide essential need items to low-income school children. So they have a whole group of athlete ambassadors, and every year they climb Kilimanjaro as a fundraiser. And
What's it called?
Chris
Water
Long,
Boys.
Water Boys.
Yeah, you didn't say Water Boys. I just wanted to make sure you said Water
Well,
Boys.
Chris, it's a little bigger than that. So Water Boys is part of it, but the well part is the Water
Cool.
Boys.
Thank you for.
Yep. Thank you for that
confirming.
point out.
You.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, George. Anyway, so shout out to Chris and all the work that they're doing. They're put in a bunch of wells, really changing people's lives. So if anybody's interested in that, we'll have links to the Water Boys and Chris Long Foundation, and we're glad to do that. Okay. Reminder that Pro Bowl voting is up. George, how's the Pro Bowl voting going?
I think it's going good. People are retweeting stuff.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I'm just focused on playing the Cardinals.
That's all we want. Get your mind right. Okay. All right, then. So quote of the week.
Yeah, what is it?
The situation is actually fundamentally neutral. It's you that creates the situation because everything is defined by how you see it. So that kind of falls into a lot of the stuff that we talk about, that most of life, and we put the terms good and bad on it, and we resist some kind of things, but really in the end, life happens for us and not to us. And so it's really about how we frame that situation. And instead of looking at things as a negative or a huge obstacle and resisting it and pushing it away, the more we kind of embrace it and integrate it and find out what the lessons are, and not spin a huge story about it, the more successful we can be by creating the energy that we need in order to be successful in our lives. So next time you get a situation and you start to see yourself frame it in a real negative way, maybe back up, take a few breaths, and maybe look about being curious and see what do you have in here that you could learn from and grow from and evolve from. And I invite anybody want to spin on that a little bit more?
I think you nailed it.
Okay.
That was
All
great.
right.
Good
Well,
job.
keep looking for those hidden pearls, everybody. So we appreciate that. Georgie, thanks so much for joining us. Super excited to see you tomorrow when you guys get here. And hug everybody. And if you RKO Kyle, make sure you get a picture of it.
Yeah.
I will.
Okay. Any final thoughts or words for our viewers as we are in the midst of this holiday season? Well, I had
My one thing. Oh, you go.
Well, I just know Tuesday night you guys had the kind of holiday giveaway with toys and stuff.
We did. Hope for the holidays.
Do you want to just say a word about that? Because I thought it was really cool. I saw the pictures
Sure.
and stuff.
The 49ers. Yeah, gives me hope. This is my favorite event of the year, community service wise. The 49ers put on this event. It's called Hope for the Holidays. It's at Levi Stadium. It's in one of the parking lots. It's kind of like a drive-through. We helped out, I think, 180 to 200 families who were in their cars. Some of them got there like at 11 a.m. We didn't start till 4, and so people waited. When we got there, there's all these sponsors who donated, from Zennies to Shoe Palace to grocery stores. Like toys were there, and basically cars would drive up, and their cars would get full of water, beverages, food, and then like there's like 6 stops, and each stop you'd get something new in each tent. And there's players working at these, and we'd put stuff in their cars, take photos with them, and they just keep driving down. And it was fun. There's probably like 20 to 30 players showed up for it. We did 200 cars in 2.5 hours, and it was just a very, very awesome event to be a part of. And it's also fun too to be with someone like the 49ers who puts it on, but also someone like Zinnies, who's one of my sponsors, who donates so many sunglasses to that cause. So it's pretty awesome, and it's like I said, it's my favorite event of the year.
Yeah, very cool. So anyway, shout out to the Niners too and their staff who put all that stuff together and all the everything and all the sponsors that help. So very, very cool. All right. Amy, anything else?
Oh, great.
Love and hug.
Buenos noches.
Buenos noches.
All right, Georgie. Love you, man.
Arigato gozaimasu.
Arigato gozaimasu.
Arigato gozaimasu.
Arigato uzima.
Close.
Yeah,
All right.
we're getting there.
All right.
Night, everybody. Woo!